guys, welcome to Xbox On. So it's almost August, and that means some brand new Games with Gold.
Now, for those of you that are wondering what Games with Gold is, every single month of your Gold membership, you get 4 free games to download, play, and keep. So let's take a look at what you've got this month.
For those of you out there who love games which revolve around crafting your own little farm and making it into a successful business, this Games with Gold offering is perfect for you. I, for one, have only just recently clawed myself out of a Stardew Valley addiction, a dark period in my life that saw me playing the game for 12 hours straight one day, no breaks. Whereas Stardew Valley gave us more of a traditional farm with carrots to grow, bachelors to woo, and trees to chop down, Slime Rancher is a more unusual look at farming. Basically, if you replace the word carrot with slimes, bachelors with slime, and trees with, well, you get the point. Slime Rancher is all about growing your own little buzzing hive of gooey, boneless creatures. You'll be assuming the role of Beatrix LeBeau, a plucky rancher who sets out to build a life for herself 1,000 light years away from Earth on the far, far range. I'm guessing the far range just didn't cut it for her. To make a living for herself, she decides to build a slime ranch, amassing a fortune along the way and hoovering up every jelly-like creature that bounces in front of her. The far, far range is the best place to build a slime empire, as it's the place that slimes produce plorts, a kind of currency that they spit out once they eat something. So, putting two together, the aim of the game is to collect slimes, trap them in barbaric enclosures, feed them loads of stuff, and then collect the sweet, valuable puke they vomit out. Hooray for a successful business! The very satisfying mechanic of collecting these slimes is hoovering them up using your very own personal vacuum. Once in there, you spit them out into enclosures, but be careful, they're crafty and will try and bounce out to break free. These slimes love eating chickens, so I made a little coop where my feathered friends could hang out before I fed them to my slimes. Before I could do that, my slimes broke free and ate all my chickens in one go. Yes, I was going to feed them to the slimes anyway, but it's the principle, okay? It's just rude. Aside from chicken enclosures, you can build gardens to grow veggies to feed your slimes, incinerators, more enclosures, and other such necessities. Of course, doing all this will cost currency in the form of plorts, so you'll need to get hoovering and feeding if you want to expand your empire. There are loads of different types of slimes too, each with different needs when it comes to feeding and a different payoff when it comes to currency. There's also these horrible evil things that attack you and the helpless slimes, and instead of being a brave farmer and saving the slimes, I ran away from them and didn't look back. Sorry slimes, please don't judge me. There's something weirdly euphoric about chucking a bunch of carrots into a pen of squishy slimes and watching them gobble them all up in a frenzy of blobby hunger. Why not try it out this August?
Now, this next game that you can download for free this month with Games with Gold is actually one that I think to this day still contains one of the hardest achievements that we've ever attempted across the history of that series, and that's anger management in Trials Fusion. For those of you that haven't played Trials Fusion before, the general gist of it is trying to complete difficult courses on your bike, filled with jumps, falls, and other challenges like a pipe that works as a seesaw in the fastest time possible. However, one thing that I have to say right away is that if you're a competitive person, especially against your friends, this game is going to keep you occupied for weeks. Partially because every single attempt you have a particular track, you can also see the names of your friends and where they were at that exact moment in time, whether they're ahead of you or you're doing a track faster than them. And if you've got one person you really want to beat, I'm looking at you, Graham, you can just keep trying over and over again until you manage to get ahead of them and their floating name. So what's included with the game when you download it is a career mode which is filled with 8 different events increasing in difficulty, which also teach you how to get the best possible times and do things like how to bunny hop across obstacles and so on. Within each of these events, as well as the trials, which are the normal tracks you're trying to complete in the fastest time, you also get skill games which can be a lot of fun, even if you completely suck at them, like I did with the big air skill game, which is apparently easy, but honestly, it wasn't. But this is probably the reason that I couldn't complete anger management. But anyway, once you finish with a career, you also have Track Central, which is filled with tracks that the community has made, which currently has over 130,000 tracks, so it'll keep you busy for some time. Trials Fusion also has local split-screen co-op with up to 4 players, so if you have some friends around, it can be a fun little party game to play, and of course, you can race other players across Xbox Live. Overall, Trials Fusion is just a fun game that you should definitely make sure you download for free with this month's Games with Gold. Play through the career, unlock all the extra customizable gear, and definitely make sure you spend some time trying out some of the community tracks, which is my personal favorite thing to do, other than beating Graham, of course.
Move over, Lara. There's a badass lady on the loose, and she's a witch who uses her own hair to summon demons to dispatch her foes. Way cooler than finding dusty old relics in crumbly old tombs and trapping OAPs in the fridge. If you couldn't guess by the description, Bayonetta is a crazy, out there story with some incredible combat and compelling combos. Bayonetta herself is a witch who was revived 20 years ago from the bottom of a lake and has no memories of her past. She can shapeshift using her hair to do some frankly incredible things. Kinda puts me to shame considering I struggle getting mine up in a ponytail. The main draw of Bayonetta though has to be its combat system. It's fast, frantic, and so satisfying, playing a lot like director Kamiya's previous game, Devil May Cry. There's combos to master, melee attacks combined with long distance gun attacks, and a variety of other weapons including chainsaws and Iron Maidens. There's special attacks, torture attacks, and plenty of things for you to summon to do the hard work for you. You also have a nifty ability called Witch Time, which is activated by a well-timed dodge. Witch Time slows time down to let you inflict a series of massive attacks to rack up huge scores. It's so satisfying. I'd love to be able to give you a rundown of the story, but it's a little bit confusing. It basically involves witches and angels and the sun and the moon and demons and fighting and time travel and a bunch of other things that gave me a headache trying to get my head around it. You play Bayonetta to kick some ass and perform more combos than Ryu on a good day. If you want to take control of one of the coolest game characters ever made and play as her using your Xbox One due to the beauty that is backwards compatibility, then make sure to check out Bayonetta this August.
The next game that you can download for free with this month's Games with Gold is an old school Xbox 360 title called Red Faction Armageddon. And if you're a fan of games that are third-person shooters like Gears of War, then Red Faction Armageddon is definitely worth you giving a download for free. Red Faction Armageddon is the 4th installment in the Red Faction series. In the game, you play as Darius Mason, and it's set 50 years after the end of Red Faction Guerrilla, where at the start of the game, the terraformer which controls the weather on Mars is destroyed and forces the entire population underground. Now, hands down, one of my favorite things in Armageddon is the fact that you can just pretty much blow up the entire environment. There's times you could be fighting on a walkway and it gets blown from beneath your feet, but there's a unique feature to Armageddon called the Nano Forge, which by using the LB button on your controller, you can actually repair structures. So if you blow everything up in a fight and don't seem to have a way out, don't worry about it, just keep repairing the environment. Also, fairly early on in the game, you get to be in a giant mech suit where you can use a giant magnet gun to rip apart the environment, which seems to be a fairly big part of Red Faction Armageddon. So if you like tearing stuff apart, this is definitely going to be the perfect free game with Games of Gold for you. Also, in combat, you get a variety of different weapons to use, including a plasma cannon, which I found especially useful against bosses and just blowing everything up, as you seem to always do in Red Faction Armageddon. But you can also have a giant maul, which is pretty fun to use and can just have fun smashing all the aliens' faces with it. Otherwise, just pretty much shoot everything that moves, because there's definitely some freaky looking aliens underground. So if you love these sort of games like Gears of War, make sure to download it for free this month with Games with Gold.
So there we have it, 4 free games for you to download this month. Make sure to let us know what your favorite is in the comments below. Also, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos.
And make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.
Bye.